There are more developments coming out of the announcement today. Live 5 Investigates has obtained newly released public records revealing internal complaints that were filed against the former North Charleston police chief. Live 5's Emily Johnson is at the First Alert desk for us with details on what was shared in those documents, those complaints against Camacho. Emily.
Yes, and Live 5 Investigates actually first requested public records about a possible internal investigation into Chief Camacho back in December of 2025. We received those records today, just 4 minutes after NCPD announced Camacho's resignation. 3 members of the North Charleston Police Department filed complaints against Camacho beginning last August. The initial complaint came from a female NCPD captain and female NCPD associate chief accusing Camacho and Deputy Chief Al Kukler of gender and race discrimination. Both women made multiple allegations listing specific instances where they felt excluded from conversations, targeted, and not given specific opportunities because of their gender. North Charleston's HR department found that they were not discriminated against, but they did find concerns about Camacho's comments referencing age. It encouraged the city's executive office to, quote, carefully evaluate his performance in this area. When asked if the allegations against Camacho played into his sudden resignation today, Mayor Reggie Burgess quickly shut that question down.
Oh, no, that had anything to do with me. Talking to him about what I just spoke to you all about. Yeah, I didn't even mention anything about that.
Details about the specific examples listed in the HR investigation can be found on our website, live5news.com. And we're also requesting all public records mentioning Camacho's resignation, which we'll make sure to share as soon as those documents are available. At the First Alert Desk, I'm Emily Johnson. Back to you, Ann.